Another point that I had dove deep into for this discussion review was the trade agreements. I felt that when I looked up the North American Free Trade Agreement, I found some pretty good knowledge about how it applied to globalization. It was one of the first dominoes to fall, according to Helen Andrews from the American Conservative, which had led to several chain events that took place for globalization to run free the way that it did. I think that this makes a lot of sense because once the North American Free Trade Agreement had become into place, there were less restrictions. And while there were still regulations that were fair and that all countries had proper understanding of how the trades would go, it was still the domino, in a sense, that fell, which led to several chain events for the, at least, influx of globalization. And I just thought about that for a little bit, and that did make a little bit of sense to me as I was writing it. Another trade agreement, the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trades, was successful as well in reducing the tariffs to the trades for the European Union, and this certainly paved the way for globalization as well. Of course, if tariffs are going to be low, globalization might be a little bit higher because now some countries could make these expensive imports that might not get taxed in terms of tariffs. And given that the GATT provided the EU with reduced tariffs, it was much easier to make trades. And there was also reduced trade barriers in this sense as well. In terms of the World Trade Organization, they widened the international wealth gap, whereas some supporters see that it was beneficial, seeing that the business was free. The business got freed for all this free trade to unfold.